Friends, well, I'm here with the St. Louis County Councilman Mark Harder, and we're going to talk about just the tragic shooting death of Charlie Kirk, the Christian activist, was shot to death in Utah today. The whole nation is grieving his death, from Donald Trump to Barack Obama, and they all are sending out their condolences to his family and mourning the violence in the political culture in the United States. I want to ask Mark. Mark, first of all, what is your reaction to this shooting?
It's a sad day for our country, especially for the youth that have followed Charlie Kirk for many years, and he's been an inspiration to many of the young people in our community and our country. And he's challenged people to their thoughts, and he's debated them on college campuses and got people to think of all different political stripes and religions, and got people to think. And that's what colleges should be about. It should be about learning how to think, not to be indoctrinated. And he challenged that for his whole career, was to challenge the status quo, challenge what was being thought and talked about on college campuses. And I applaud him for that. And he spent his lifetime, and now in death, he was in the process of doing that and debating in an area that we are very proud of our free speech. And there's people out there that want to take free speech away from people like Charlie Kirk. And it's just a sad day.
You had just seen him just months ago. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I actually ran into him at a conference. I was in Dallas, Texas about 3 months ago, and I was down there for a different reason, and he was having one of his large women in leadership conventions in the convention center of the hotel we were staying in, and I ran into him in the hallway and talked with him briefly and to some of his people, and he was very cordial and just basically, how you run into people, you just, do small talk, and I congratulated him on his work.
Charlie was just a unique individual, wasn't he? When you saw him in those debates on college campuses, and he never shied away from any subject.
No, he would take on all comers, religion, politics, social issues, policy, and again, many times he was mostly there. If you listen to his YouTube videos and other things, he was mostly challenging people to think about what they say, because people tend to spurt out things that are like that they hear and not very well grounded. And he would challenge people on that. Why do you believe this? Why do you think this? And have you ever thought about this or thought about that? And so many people walked away from those public events, at least changed in some way to at least think of and be open to other views.
He was a big supporter of the president and the president's program, but in death, people from both sides of the aisle, Democrat and Republican, former President Obama sent out a post lamenting the death, lamenting his violence. President Trump has ordered all the flags at federal buildings and properties and military bases flown at half-staff, lowered to half-staff, in honor of Charlie Kirk's death. That says a lot about this individual, that they were doing this for a civilian.
Right, a civilian, a very young civilian.
31 years old.
Yes, and so, he's made that impact on both our elected officials in this country and our society as a whole, to have that type of response and to be across the aisle type of response as well. So he's really made a difference.
And let me tell you, once again, I'm talking to Mark Harder. He is on the St. Louis County Council, Republican on the County Council, and a big admirer of Charlie Kirk, who just saw him months ago. I have never seen anybody like him. His ability to just retain information and his ability to debate was just phenomenal, just unbelievable.
Right, and he's not even a college graduate. He didn't like what was being taught. He went to college, but he didn't like what was being taught on college campuses. So he talks about that very openly. And he's also the founder of an organization called Turning Point, which actually goes onto college campuses and helps organize college students to challenge the status quo and to question what's being taught on college campuses. And even though he was very welcomed on many college campuses, I'm sure he was not a friend of many folks in the establishment of some of these colleges at the same time. So it's a unique situation and a unique place in history for him.
He did not seem, and I'm going to say this, he did not seem like an angry person. He didn't approach people from the standpoint of somebody who was mean or bitter or angry or anything like that. We even just looking at his expressions was always like somebody who was listening to the person presenting their argument, no matter what it was. And it wasn't out of, I'm going to get you. It's like, hey, let's talk about this and maybe I can communicate some ideas that will help you. Doesn't it seem like he was more like that?
Yeah, I agree with that. Like I said, his style and these programs that he did and these events he had on different college campuses was to get people to come forward. He was not afraid to get debate started and to get people to talk about the issues of the day and to try to get people, of course, to see his way. But many people didn't see his way, but I think they still walked away learning something from his side of view.
Isn't it amazing that I haven't ever seen anybody like him?
He's very
Have you?
unique. No, I haven't. And there's some that are out there that are doing similar things, but I think he was the leader in this genre, so to speak, and he will live on in YouTubes and other types of media for years and years to come. I think.
What do you think we're going to miss most about Charlie Kirk?
I think just the ability to challenge. People tend to regurgitate things they hear on the internet or regurgitate things they hear in coffee shops or whatever, instead of challenging the facts, because facts can be a sticky thing. And he challenged the facts and gets people to really do the things that are necessary, that are part of living in a democracy, and also understanding very complex issues and trying to boil those complex issues down to a way of understanding them better.
He was a person who was proud of being an American.
He was.
And trying to get other people to get on board.
And a very strong Christian and a family man, a father or two, I believe.
His wife, I think, is Erica. I think that's his wife's name. But go ahead. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, and so he tried to convince people from a Christian perspective and a Christian worldview. But he wasn't overly preachy, just to try to get people to think. And I think that's what we need more of in this world.
And that's one thing he made clear, was that he was a strong Christian. And one thing he made clear of when he dealt with the crowds, when he went to campuses, and he went to environments that he knew a lot of people really didn't like him. A lot of people really didn't believe what he was talking about. He went to these college campuses where he knew a lot of the kids were just the opposite of how he was. They were anti-Christian almost. But still, he went right in the middle of that kind of crowd to try to make converts.
Right. And, I think he would say, he went to the belly of the beast in many times because he knew I think he drew energy from that exchange with people. And especially when people walked away, either shaking their head because their argument fell apart, or that maybe made them at least a believer and saw his side of the story.
Yeah, how many times did you see the people talking to him, the kids, and they were college kids, how many times do you see the kids talking to him get angry? I mean, just get fired up because he would listen to them and he would make a point that would just shoot their arguments to shreds.
Correct. Yes, and that's his unique style and his unique skill in calling.
Again, what do you think we're going to miss most about Charlie? Obviously, it's going to be something that America will miss because there was only one person like him.
Right. And I think there'll be others that will rise up around that that genre, so to speak. I think he's opened the door for a lot of other people, and he's shown how you do this and how you do it well. And I think other people will follow in his footsteps. His organization, Turning Point, has brought on a lot of good speakers and people that are like him. And hopefully there are others that will rise up and fill the void that he leaves.
Others will come along, as you say, but sometimes there's one of the that no one will maybe quite do it
Right.
the way he did.
Sure.
Anyway, Mark Harder, St. Louis County Councilman, thank you for talking to me today about the tragic death of Charlie Kirk. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Elliot.